a global project manager back in 2004, I retrained and went back to college and founded Therapeutic Healing and Wellness, originally in California, as I say, in 2004, which has now morphed into thought sports and remedial therapy and wellness in the workplace. I'm also a meditation and mindfulness instructor. I provide retreats and workshops, and I'm also a teacher. Sorry about that. That's my alarm to say that we're going live. During the pandemic, with extra time on my hands, I realized that the situation I found myself in, with my almost complete loss of income, must be affecting so many others. So I created free Thursday showcases, enabling amazing and extraordinary people to have a floor to share their gifts. Today, it's my great pleasure to introduce and welcome Trudy Simmons. Hi, Trudy.
Hi.
Trudy is the founder of the Crazy Daisy Networking Group and Hampshire Women's Business Group. She's also a clarity and productivity business coach with a knack for hearing the actions that you want to take to further your business towards success. Trudy grows engaged communities through proving that being the whole of yourself attracts the audience and ideal client that is for you and your business. Trudy today is going to share her wisdom with us, and we'll be talking about how to network effectively to grow your business. It's indeed a great pleasure, Trudy. First of all, would you like to tell the audience a little bit about yourself? How did you get from being where you were, and where were you, to where you are today?
Well, quite strangely, I was in operational management. That's not the strange part. I used to run an accounting and tax association in Australia. Can you imagine? I had 8,000 members that were accountants. The joys. So I was in
wow.
I was in operational management for years, running different businesses for other people, and left there in Australia, started up my own business, the Daisy Chain Group, started doing business coaching, love meeting people and encouraging people to see the motivation in what they're doing. So I started up networking events. And then when I came back over here 4 years ago, I thought, I'm going to set it up here.
Wow.
So in person at this stage, I had 4 people turn up in the first month that I did it, and thought I had won. And then within, I think it was 4 months, I had 45 people turn up.
That
45
is
women.
That is extraordinary. Gosh.
Yeah. The energy in that room, and the poor cafe that we held it in. Oh, so we then had to move it and split it because.
Right. Carry on.
So since then, I have been business coaching. I've been doing the networking, which is now online, and conferences, running women's conferences as well.
That is so exciting. I mean, I am a member of the Hampshire Women's Business Group, and the amount of time you clearly spend on it is quite extraordinary. You're always doing these live, amazing posts. Everyone is so enthusiastic. It's such a wonderful energy and a lovely place to be and go and check in. I'm kind of a pop in, pop out kind of person right now, but it's surely, it's so inspirational. It really is inspirational.
Thanks. And there is the case of like attracts like. And if I'm in there and motivating, and even on down days, which I do have, which people find hard to believe, but even on down days, we all have down days. But when you've got a place where it's that like attracts like environment, then you can go in there and say, I'm not good today. But then the next day you go in and encourage somebody else. So it's give and take, and it works.
You must be so proud of your achievements. I mean, you've got the awards and it's grown exponentially, hasn't it? Absolutely amazing. Yeah. So what does your normal day look like?
Well, I don't know that anybody who's an entrepreneur has a normal day, which I love.
This is true.
But On an ordinary day, again, I guess I make a lot of calls to people, so I speak to a lot of people throughout the day. I ordinarily have either I'm attending a networking event or I'm hosting a networking event each day. So
Wow.
that's a couple of hours out of most days that I do
Yeah.
that. I'm also an introvert, so I'm very
Really?
so I'm very
Wow.
careful. I'm very careful with my energy of I can put out a lot, but then I totally retreat. So
Right.
I can do the 2.5 hours of networking, and then I will go and be very quiet for a couple of hours just to regain myself.
Do you think you're also maybe a little bit of an empath?
I am an empath, yes.
Yes. So
I am.
you give so much and it's all
Mm,
sucked out of you, and then you need to top up that battery,
yeah,
don't you? Wow.
absolutely. And it's really interesting being an empath in that group and having 1,000 women entrepreneurs, and I can feel the energy and when it changes. And I sometimes say that I feed off it. It's not that I feed off it, I gauge what's
No.
going on,
Yeah.
and then I voice it, so then everybody goes, oh, it's not just me. Otherwise we all feel like we're going through this journey in an isolated way.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling it, I swear there's a lot of other people feeling it as well.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
think that's also what is so engaging with you as well, is that you just say it. You just say it as it is. You're completely transparent.
Hmm.
And I think, and that really does um, attract people, and they see your vulnerability as well. And that's so important because, I'm born and bred British, although I don't have, I grew up in South Africa, lived in California. But to be honest, a lot of English people are taught
Mm,
to not show their emotions, and it's not the right way, it's not the right thing to do. So it's very refreshing, to encourage these people, these ladies,
yeah.
telling them it's okay, just
Yeah.
be, and to say and to share how they're feeling.
And this is where I come back to, Ali, with the point of be the whole of yourself in your business. Because if
Yeah,
you go through life thinking that that vulnerability is a weakness, you are going to end up hurting yourself, nobody
yeah,
else.
yeah.
And I've had to learn that and then unlearn it and then learn it again, because it's one of those things where, especially when you're brought up with strength and
Mm.
in a corporate male environment where if
Oh
you
yes.
any kind of weakness, then you're out. Or
And you have to work so much harder in a corporate male environment because you're a
yeah,
woman, and
yeah,
you have to actually talk the talk of all the men. You have to almost
mm,
be masculine and work 3 times harder to do the same, to get anywhere in your, in that
yeah.
environment. I can really relate to that for sure. Yeah.
Operational management with 7,000 male accountants and 1,000 female accountants. I had to show them who was boss.
Good
But
for you.
that also meant that I came out of that corporate environment having to unlearn that mask of not showing any kind of vulnerability.
You
And
couldn't.
now, no. So now it's really important to me that if I don't show it at the time, but I'm a massive
No.
believer in go through what you're going through and then explain it afterwards. And that's what I like to do and to show with my communities, because I don't want to feel like if I'm going through it, I don't want to pull other people down. I'm in this
No.
world to lift people up. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, coming back to the current situation regarding the pandemic, I know that lockdown is starting to ease, but we still face extreme
mm,
restrictions about groups and meeting spaces. I mean, as a member of Hampshire Women's Group, I see a lot of what, how you're handling this. But for people who aren't, and for people who are interested in, in joining, how has it been, and how do you think it's going to continue in the future?
well, I've decided today that I had a big event going on, the Hampshire Women's Business Awards in October, and I have moved that today to July next year, which was completely gutting to me because I really wanted people to have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
But from what I was hearing and the feelings that are around, there's so much fear still. I didn't want to add to that.
Yes.
So I've just moved that, but I also stated today that I will only do online networking. And we were all waiting to get back to doing in-person networking because we love the cake mostly. So it was a really big, bold decision to say, I'm not doing it. And it feels horrible because the decision, although I've made the decision, it's about things that I have no control over. Apparently, I have no control over COVID. Um, so I've made that decision today, and it's part of it feels really icky because it's not what I want to do, but it is for the best of everybody. And networking really works online. And I think all of us have been gobsmacked that it's almost better. And
really?
Yes.
I haven't really put my toe in, but I think I should explore that definitely. Yeah.
It is
Again,
amazing.
I mean, there's, we all feel so vulnerable because we've been self-isolating because we've had to, in so many different ways. And everyone is feeling this pandemic it's affecting people in so many different ways. And, it's a scary thing to start mixing with people again because you've been in isolation for so long. But that sounds like a fabulous idea. I know I got lots of pings from Hampshire Women's Business Group, and I will have a look at those because it sounds extraordinarily worthwhile, even for me as an introvert as well.
Yes, it almost works better for introverts. I say because I am half one, introverted extrovert, but because it's no longer that feeling of I've got to get in the car, I've got to park, I've got to get that, I've got to walk in the door. It's that 5 seconds of courage where you press live on Zoom and you're in with all these people, and within 20 seconds, they're your best friends. It's such a wonderful environment to walk into. That's what I'm told, as much as I say it. But also it's that what this has given people is the fact that the audience that we used to have with networking is there was 30 women entrepreneurs in Winchester, in Fareham, in Southampton. And now it's worldwide. We've got people coming from Australia. I'm going to get it out to an American audience. There could be anybody on that call, which isn't scary because like attracts like. So
absolutely, yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
And that's fantastic news. And I have a lot of connections in California, and more than likely quite a few of them will be watching this, either maybe not live right now, but at some point in the future for sure.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us how to network effectively? I know we've got like a little list here, but can you talk to us about what it's all about?
Yeah.
With all your wisdom and guidance.
All my wisdom, brace yourselves, here it comes. This will be it. I think that there's the olden days ways of doing networking, and there's how it is now. And especially with women entrepreneurs, it's that feeling of getting to know, like, and trust someone before you recommend them, that you refer them.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is about going into the networking with the right intentions. So in the olden days, you'd walk in and you'd have your business card or your flyer and you'd hand that over and you'd walk away. And people would collect all these flyers, and then you would go home and you put them in the bin, and nobody got to know each other.
Yeah.
And now, especially with small businesses, people come in to have conversations, at least at my networking. So you come in to have conversations and get to know each other. So quite often I will put some weird and wonderful question out there so that you can have those silly conversations and there's laughter and, oh my God, did you do that? I've done this way. Not about business, but you get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And in that feeling of, I've just had a laugh with you, I now like you. So let's build some trust. What is it that you do for business? And then you talk about your business. And then now I know you. So now I know, like, and trust you. Who can I refer you to? My friend needs you. And that's how networking works.
Right. I can actually relate to the back in the olden days of joining. There were quite a few large global networking groups, and you paid a monthly fee or something. And then, as you said, you go into this meeting, you're all dressed in suits. There's a big table, you put down your business card, you stand around, maybe say a few words to this person or that. And again, being a woman, you are so restricted because it's all about, it's, you know, it's a very male dominated, it was a very male dominated area. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And your explanation is on the money, exactly what happens.
And I have been questioned. I got questioned on the BBC radio as to why you're only doing women's networking, and I said, why? Because it's my audience and it's my business and it's my decision. And it's important to me to provide that safe space where women can come in and they feel like they can be seen and heard, because without being seen and heard as a business, you can't grow.
No.
So absolutely come in, feel safe, know that we've got you, and tell us about what you do. We want to get to know you. So it's really, it's brilliant.
Do you also think, you mentioned feel safe, do you also think that safety is actually quite a huge issue for women entrepreneurs?
Yes, and introverted ones.
Yes.
So imagine walking into a room where it's mixed and you're introverted and shy, for want of a better word, I did these, shy, and you're worried about standing up. That thing goes in your throat, you're tense, you've got to do your 30 seconds, your minute, you're not sure what you're saying, and you stand up and you go to talk and one person goes, and it's a guy, I'm out. I want to sit down and run to the toilets. I used to do that at networking events, go and run and hide.
But you know, they can act in such intimidating ways, can't they? A lot of the time. Yeah.
And it's how we take it. But it is also that, for me, creating that safe environment is an important part of what I want to do.
That's extraordinary. I salute you, and I know it's going extremely well. And you're growing exponentially, as you say. You're growing internationally as well. So, can you tell us what is the difference between your international women's business group and the Daisy Chain group? Those two entities.
Crikey. So the Daisy Chain group is my company, my business. So that's kind of like the umbrella of everything that I do. So I do the Hampshire Business Awards, the Spectacular Business Symposium, Crazy Daisy Networking, Crazy Daisy Clarity Club. They're all under the Daisy Chain group. And I keep that name because it makes me happy. I just love the Daisy Chain group.
It sounds, as you say, and your picture for your website is just so beautiful. It's sunshiny and happy and smiling. You want to click through and you want to see more. You want to come into that page, into that website. So yeah.
What's really interesting, just quickly about the Daisy Chain group, the name, is that a daisy chain wheel in America is a cog in a machine. And when the daisy chain wheel is in place, everything else works. And I only found that out. I'd had the business for about 2 or 3 years, but it is absolutely what I do from a business coaching point of view as well, where I move the cogs until it clicks and then everything else flies.
Yeah.
So, so the International Women's Business Group is a Facebook community of women from around the world to come and share what they do.
That's extraordinary. And so at the end of this chat, I will be resharing all the information about those two groups, as well as the Hampshire Women Business Group. And so what is your passion?
Oh, absolutely. Well, entertaining people. I think that I had to do a complete recess of my business at the beginning of this year, and I sat down on a beach when we were allowed to travel. Remember that, everybody?
Was that back in Australia?
No, it was actually, I went to Egypt just for 5 days at the beginning of the year. And sat on a beach and thought, what do I want to be known for? And I wrote down, I want to be known for entertaining people in their businesses to be the whole of themselves.
Oh, that's so powerful. So powerful.
It is. And for most business people, you'd think, why would you want to be known for entertaining people? But I firmly believe that if you are entertained, you are motivated. And if you are motivated, it builds confidence. And if you build confidence, you're able to be visible. And if you're able to be visible, then you've got a business.
Yeah.
So,
and also, if you go out starting with being, us coming to you and being entertained, we will remember that so much more than if, than if you just kind of have a script and go blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because people remember those, things that make them laugh, make them happy.
Yeah.
They engage
But they
more as well.
learn.
Yeah.
They learn at the same time. I'm all about action, implementable, doing things towards the growth of your business. And I'm very serious about having fun in your business. That's what I say.
That is amazing. You are quite the lady. So, so you're also a clarity and productivity business coach. Do you want to talk a bit about that? And how are you handling that with the pandemic as well?
I think that business coaching as an industry is going to explode off the back of this, because so many people are either being made redundant, sadly, or they're deciding that they don't want to go back to work, and they are looking for answers, help, support to be able to work out what they do next. And with my brain, I'm able to take everything out of someone's head and then structure it into an actionable plan. And in doing that, it means that you work out what you want to do rather than what you think you should do or have to do.
Yeah.
And most of us, we get people's opinions of saying, but you could do this and go and do that, and you've done this before. But when you actually work out what you want,
what you really want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you really, really want. Then, and it's finding that I can work out what the big picture is that you're aiming for and the very next step. And there's nothing in the middle of that that worries me about getting it done. It's just putting in the next steps to getting there.
Fantastic. So how do you go about that? Do you set a series of appointments and have lots of online discussions, and from the first meeting or the first session to where they can actually then go out and start this new way of living or new way of running a new business or exploring their new adventure? What is the approximate time period that it normally takes, or is that just how long is a piece of string?
No, it's not at all, because I won't have that.
Yeah.
It has to be, so there's two things in that. I can do that ordinarily in the first session. So the first hour and a half, people walk away going, oh my God, I'm so clear now. I can see exactly what I'm aiming for, and these are the next 6 steps how to get there. I can't remember what the second point was, but it's not about there being a piece of string. It is, I deal with individuals.
Yes.
So with business coaching, it is individuals. I don't have a formula. I would never say, follow these 5 steps.
No.
In 6 months.
Yeah.
So
no.
I'm very, so I would never promise what can't be delivered. But if
Yeah.
I do the first session with you and then you say, right, I've got everything that I need now, but I want to come back in a month because I need to be accountable. I need to have more clarity on top of what I'm going to get done now. Then I'm in. So
that sounds really doable. I might actually contact you outside this session. That's extraordinary. So, how did I ask you how you've adjusted to the pandemic? Did we talk about that?
How I've adjusted, I was lucky in that my business has been online for 10 years. So I haven't had to adjust that massively in my business. Taking everything online with the events has been pretty massive. I'm doing a 2-day conference in November, and that's now online. So
wow.
That's going to be pretty massive. I've got speakers from around the world coming to give real information. That's going to be amazing. The spectacular.
Oh, wow.
So I'm having to take those kinds of things online.
Yeah.
But my business hasn't changed that much
Good.
from what it was.
Good. That's really good news. So do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience today?
Get to networking. Not just mine, that a lot of people are now doing it online. Find out how you're going to introduce yourself. Don't worry about how you feel about it. Take that 5 seconds of courage and do it, because I promise you, at the end of it, with the right audience, you will feel so much better that you've done it. So,
sorry.
go on.
So there are so many new networking groups that have popped up since, you know, lockdown and stuff like that. So what you've shared with us is really fantastic. What should they look out for? Are there any red flags that they maybe should look out for? Or is it just their complete personal feeling they get by attending an online network group?
Yeah, you don't know until you attend.
No.
And everybody's different. Some people want that corporate feel to things because it's their comfort zone.
Yeah.
I am never going to wear a suit, so don't come to my networking if you want to wear a suit, and if you don't want to have a giggle, and I might make you sing at some point. So
those networking groups sound absolutely fabulous. Does it sometimes include, oh, it does sometimes include a glass of wine, doesn't it? You've had
yes,
some groups.
Wine Down Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't sound like many reasons not to join, that's for sure. Oh, another question. So as you're global and growing even more global, how do you deal with the time differences? Like, for example, California's 8 hours behind.
Yep.
Australia is what, 12 hours ahead or something?
11, yeah.
11 hours ahead. And there are other significant time differences, particularly across America, for example. How do you
Yep.
deal with all those time changes?
All worked out. So I think there's 8 networking events each month. There are at least 2 that are 7:30 in the morning in the UK, which hits the Australian time zone, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the evenings for the American time zone, and then during the day for the UK time zones.
So can a member of the International Women's Business Group, can they actually attend the 7:30 meeting, even if they're in England, or is that only for the Australian group? Can you
come to them all?
So
if you're
you
up
can,
in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Oh, that's extraordinary. And is each one, do you do similar things with each audience on a particular day, for example, or is it all completely different on every single?
No, they are all the same. I have different questions at each one because I think that's a good way of getting to know somebody even more.
Yes.
But they are the same structure. But I want to make this as easy as possible. So if you join, you can come to 9 networking events a month if you want to. I want to see you. So, and I have people that do that because it literally
Do
has
you
been,
really? Wow.
yeah, it's been their sanity during lockdown, and
Yeah.
it has been the way that they're able to talk about everything that's going on rather than just personal, because when you've got your own business, you need to talk to people that have their own businesses.
Yeah, I think you've certainly hit the nail on the head regarding that, for sure. Well, we're just about out of time, so thank you so very, very much to have taken this time out of your busy, crazy, busy day. It's been so educating to hear about all the things. It really, really has. And I think the audience would be making an error if they didn't explore all these networking platforms that you've shared with us today. I think you've done, I mean, you're a Wonder Woman.
Stop it. Okay.
Take it. Take it.
Thanks, Ali.
You're very welcome. And so if anyone would like to get in touch with Trudy, the easiest way is to go to www.thedaisychaingroup.com. It's on the screen. There's also a Facebook group called the International Women's Business Facebook community, and also the Hampshire Women's Business community. Instagram is another location. You can find the Daisy Chain Group. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Yeah. And just to everyone in the audience and to you, I did notice we kind of had a double countdown. I don't know if you
Yes.
observed that. And then I just said, please carry on. So that kind of, I think that kind of put us both off a little bit. And I'm saying this to you and the audience, because that's never happened before. So apologies to you and apologies to the audience. Technology does act sometimes in a really weird and wonderful way. So thanks a lot. You take care. And
Thanks,
I will
Ali.
probably see you on a couple of networking events.